So for this new Meetup component, we again create a function here, a component function, like the new Meetup page function. And of course, as before, we need to export this so that Next.js is able to find this, and then we can render our content here. Now, our content in this case should be the new Meetup form component, which I prepared in advance, which renders a form with some controls, with some styles attached, using CSS modules here for styling. I'll come back to that in a second. That is supported by Next.js out of the box, which is really convenient. And then here we get that data, we extract that data the user entered with help of refs, which is a built-in React feature, has nothing to do with Next.js. And then we basically call a function which we expect to get on the onAddMeetup prop. And to that function, we then pass the collected meetup data. So this object with all the collected data. And hence now in this new meetup index.js file here, we can use that component. And we can import new meetup form from going up 2 levels to leave the pages folder, diving into the components folder, meetups, and then new meetup form. And then we can return new meetup form, this component like this, if we want to. Now, as I just mentioned, in this component, we do expect that there will be a onAddMeetup prop, which holds a function that we can call, and hence we might want to prepare this function here as well. We can add our addMeetup handler function, or however you want to name it, and then pass a pointer at this function to the onAddMeetup prop. A pointer and not the result of executing it. So no parentheses here, because this function should be executed eventually from inside that component when the form is submitted, as it turns out. Here we then get our entered meetup data, and we can, for example, for the moment, simply log this to the console. And with that out of the way, if we go back again, we can visit localhost 3000/new meetup, and we see this form. Again, not the final styling, a bit too wide, but we see the form. And if I open the developer tools here and I enter test and test, or here we actually need a URL, so I will just quickly grab that URL which I set up for my dummy data. This URL, I'll grab that and use this here. Test address. And this is a test. If we enter this data and we click Add Meetup, we see this object logged to the console. So handling form submission works. Obviously, we're not doing anything with that data at this point. We're not navigating away, and we are going to do all these things later. But this again just shows us how we can use pages and also mix regular React components into those pages. And with that, that's a great start. But now we're already facing a couple of issues here. We got a lot of missing functionality, of course, and for example, we also have no way for navigating between pages. And we have no general layout around our pages. Every page takes up the entire width, we got no header above them, and that is probably something we want to change.